we actually have 4 different traps that we're going to be using today. Okay, so we're actually setting the bigger of the 2 smaller traps. Okay guys, so for the smallest trap, I actually set it over near our grass pile over here. Our big gun, our 3rd or 4th trap, and one of our 2 biggest ones is set where I normally set the traps in general. Okay, so here is the 4th and final trap of the night. Let's wait until tomorrow and see if we get anything in any of our 4 live cage animal traps. How's it going, everyone? Welcome to the Karsatowski Creatures YouTube channel. So today, we're going to be doing something that we haven't done in a little while. We're going to be doing a trapping video. So those of you who are new to my channel, I basically have a bunch of live cage animal traps, and we just go throughout the property and see what we can catch. We've done a few of these in the past, and I usually set at least 1 or 2 traps at a time, but this time we have a special treat. We actually have 4 different traps that we're going to be using today, so I'm just going to go ahead and run through all of these, and then we're going to go to our locations and set these things. Okay guys, so first up we have our OG trap that I started using over 12 years ago. This is considered to be kind of like a large to medium sized trap. It is about 2 feet in length and about 6 or 8 inches width. They do make them quite a bit bigger than this, but I have caught well over 100 animals in this trap. It is the oldest one that I have, like I mentioned before, and you can see that it is a little bit rusted in some places. I did have to tie the back of it up to secure it, but pretty much the catch rate for this thing is beyond higher than any one of my other traps, and it is definitely my favorite. It works just like any other cage trap. You've got the trip pan in the back and the wire that comes all the way up to the door. The trigger mechanism, you just lift this little latch up and then open the trap up, and simple as that, pretty much. This one over here, I've had this one for probably about like 2, maybe 3 years or something like that. My grandma actually gave me this, and what's unique about this one is it is a collapsible trap. So you can basically just fold it over to one side and it'll actually become completely flat, so you can put it in like the bed of your truck or under the seat of your car for easy transport. And it actually has 2 different doors. It has the front door over there, which the animal comes in, and you can also put this door down to let the animal out. It's pretty easy just to put it back up, so pretty easy for the animal to get out. I've really only caught 1 animal in this though. It's not real sturdy. I guess it's because it is a collapsible trap, so it's just not sturdy, but we'll see if we can get something in it tonight. And here, this one is actually comes in a double pack with this big guy over here. So these 2 are my original 2 traps. This one I've caught, I want to say probably about 5 dozen animals roughly. I've caught a lot of possums. I've caught a few raccoons, believe it or not. This trap is actually more of the size for catching rabbits and squirrels, and I have caught a few rabbits and squirrels in here, also a lot of possums, raccoons, and a few stray cats. Now what's interesting about this trap is it actually got hit by a lawnmower at the back. You can see this big dent over here, but it still works well. I haven't set it that much over the last few years. Works just the same as that big one over there, so hopefully we can get a little something in it tonight, like maybe a small possum or a little raccoon, or I don't know, something though. I think I'll probably set this one to bait for a rabbit, but we'll see how this one does tonight. And then this trap over here, this one is my newest one. I actually got it from my house because we live in a subdivision, so we can't really have like big traps over there. We'll catch like a neighbor's cat or something like that. And I've really only set it once in the woods, and this trap is mostly meant for like mostly squirrels, and also it's a really good sized trap if you're trying to catch weasels and everything like that. And it works a little bit different. The trigger mechanism is pretty much the same, except the door is a little bit different. Instead of actually having an angle to it, a 45-degree angle like all these three, it actually has more of a vertical door. So you basically just pull the latch out, the door slides up, and then there's something that locks in place over here. You could adjust that as well. You need two hands to adjust that one, but yeah, that's how this trap works. So I'm thinking I'm gonna set those two guys for like possums or raccoons, and I might even set these two right here for rabbits. So let's go ahead and get some bait and go to our locations. Okay guys, so we're at our first location, and I'm actually gonna set these two smaller ones first. I'm thinking that I am gonna set one right around this big old field over here, and as you can see, there's a lot of paths over here for walking and dirt biking, stuff like that. I usually see a lot of rabbits go along this tall grass. You could actually see a little trail over here where some rabbits actually go. So I'm thinking I'm gonna set one trap along this big grass in this spot, and then I'll probably go to maybe over there somewhere and set the other one. So let me go and get set up here. I don't have anybody help me film, so I got to set the camera down to set the trap. Okay, so we're actually setting the bigger of the two smaller traps over this line of tall grass over here. So for bait, we actually have a lot of mixed fruits. We've got a few grapes mixed with some orange slices and kiwi, and I think we have a few I don't think there are any apples in here, but we've got all the other stuff here. So I basically like to put the majority of the food in the very back. I like to tempt it with a few other pieces of fruit in the very front. And trigger is a little bit, I need to make the trigger as sensitive as possible, because whatever animal gets caught in here that's big enough to fit in here is probably only going to weigh a couple pounds. So I got to make sure the trap is almost a hair trigger like, and you can see, I think right there is probably going to be enough. So I think I'll probably leave it at that setting right there. You always want to double check your settings before you set a new trap, because if it's not sensitive enough, then an animal can easily just come in here, take the food, and get out. So I like to make sure they're pretty good. Okay, now we'll go to our next location and set this trap right over here. Okay guys, so for the smallest trap, I actually set it over near our grass pile over here. Whenever there's big clumps of grass after we're done mowing, then we just pile it up over here, pretty much over next to the rotting plants and the manure pile. And this trap by far is the smallest, and it's also the hair trigger trap pretty much. So this trigger is extremely sensitive, so something really only like maybe 8 ounces or something like that can easily trip that. We may catch a pretty good sized rat, or maybe a baby bunny or something like that. So we pretty much got the bait the very back of the trap, and hopefully the animal will be enticed and go all the way in. So now let's set our two biggest traps. Alright, so our big gun, our third or fourth trap, and one of our two biggest ones is set where I normally set the traps in general. This fence line over here, and then this big long patch of weeds. I've gotten many different animals going in and out of these weeds, and I've caught quite a few dozen raccoons and a few possums at this line too. So we've got actually some leftover pizza towards the front and the middle, and finally towards the very end of the trap, and a few other morsels in there to keep them hungry, to get them busy. And then we also have pretty much the same setting as our first trap, pretty much. Hair trigger over there, so something probably about, I'd say 15-20 pounds will be coming around here. So this is the third or fourth trap set, so let's go ahead and set our fourth and final trap. Okay, so here is the fourth and final trap of the night, and it as well is set with some pizza, a little bit in the front, a little bit on the trip pan, and the majority is at the back. The back door is shut tight. That's not opening anytime soon. Then we have the trigger pretty much on a hair trigger. Once again, that is about the ideal setting that you want to put this. Now I selected this area because it's a lot more secluded as opposed to the rest of the property, but also it's pretty wet out here. It's rained a lot, but I don't know if you can see it, but I actually seen a lot of raccoon tracks. I'll probably have to show you when it gets a little bit lighter, but there are a good amount of raccoon tracks over through this area, and they're basically going all the way down this line over here along the fence. So tonight, hopefully, they'll be able to meet that trap on the corner and hopefully get caught. Well, let's wait until tomorrow and see if we get anything in any of our 4 live cage animal traps. See you tomorrow. Okay, so we have the first trap, the smallest one, and we have nothing in it. So this is actually kind of expected. Usually it takes a good probably 2 to 3 days of keeping a trap out before anything will go in it, but there's probably not that many really small animals that go to this area anyway. I have gotten a few coyotes and a fox that actually go around this manure pile and this grass pile looking for some rodents, so I kind of figure we may get some kind of mouse or rat or something like that, but I guess there just wasn't any this time, so let's go and check the next smallest one. And now we have the second smallest trap, and once again, nothing. Huh. Starting to see a pattern here. It looks like there just isn't a lot of animals that come around this area again. I mean, it's only been one night since these traps have been set, and none of the bait has been taken. No bugs yet or anything like that. But there'll probably be some ants and probably a few mites and flies will probably get into that fruit. Well, it's a good thing we set 4 traps in, because we've got 4 chances to catch an animal at different sections of the property. Well, I guess we'll go ahead and check our next largest trap now. Okay, and now we have the third trap, and again, nothing. And look at that. A few flies have been around this bait, but no animals. But no mammals have actually been around this bait either. Man. Well, 3 strikes. 3 traps have not caught anything. So do we have something in the 4th and final trap? Well, let's find out. Okay, guys. So right over here is the 4th and final trap. And the trap is tripped. But did we get something in it finally? Alright. Going towards side. Oh, would you look at that? Huh? Look at that. Nothing. But the bait is gone completely. Huh? That actually did happen the last time I set a trap. Man, I don't know why, but stuff easily takes things from this trap. And I mean, my other big trap did the same thing too, but man, I mean, that's twice in a row that something got to this trap. Oh, man. Well, oh well, so 4 traps and nothing in all 4 traps, but that's just how it goes sometimes. You can hear those raccoon tracks I was talking about. There's a few over this corner, and there's a few over along this line over here. I've also got some that you can barely see through over here as well. Well, guys, we didn't catch anything this morning, but that's just kind of what trapping is, you know. You never know what you're going to get, and you never know if you're going to get anything until you actually do. We set 4 traps, and 3 of them did not have anything come to them at all. All the bait was still there, and then our final trap, something did get the bait. So that means that there is an animal over there that is hungry in that spot. I think probably next time I might switch things up a little bit, and I may actually set my other big trap over there, because I know that it's not like as flimsy as the collapsible one, but I guess we'll just try next time. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video, guys, even though we didn't catch anything. So if this is your first time checking out the Karsatowski Creatures YouTube channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below so you will never miss any of my videos. I'm Carson, keep watching my content, and I will see you in the next video. So long, guys.